There we go.
Okay, it says it's recording. You hear me clearly? Should I just do it on the phone instead of trying to get on my MacBook?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay.
All right. So where were we? We were, we were talking about kids.
We were talking about
From what-
kids being able to download data that
yes.
they're meant to be able to
Yes. Okay.
download. Ugh. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
So that's a bummer that it wouldn't work on here. That's too bad.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yes. So now I have two separate audio files, and I'll just have to splice those together. That's fine.
Yeah. If you downloaded separate tracks, you'll be
That's no problem.
okay. So
Okay.
my lighting. Hold on, let me turn on my light in the room since I didn't have it on before. This will be better lighting. This will be better lighting, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what I was saying, I don't need my headphones either. Everything changed now.
Okay.
Okay. So I was saying with kids, they're able to download all this information because it's primitive. As you said, it says it's revolutionary. It's defense against having to think and doing all that download all at once. So I was
Mm-hmm.
talking about taking you into a visionarying session. So I'm going to get you to the alpha state, the relaxed state. And just so your listeners can know how to do this, it's really simple. It takes like minute and a half to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And and so what I do is I get comfortable and close your eyes and roll them upward as if you're looking at your third eye or you're looking up at the ceiling, but your eyes are closed. And
Should I do this now or
yeah,
what?
let's do this.
Hold on.
Let's
Okay. So close my eyes. Look up to my third eye.
yeah, look up and focus on your breath for 5 breaths. So now I want you to recreate a winning feeling that you've had, some experience that you had in, say, the past. It could be falling in love. It could be your parents, you graduating, you seeing a sibling birth. Think of that feeling and try to recreate it. Relive that happy feeling that you had in that situation and in that moment, and live in that for about 20 more seconds and think about how you felt because you were so present, you were in the moment. And then I want you to bring that feeling, that positive image from your past, and envision that towards a new goal. So think of something new that you want, something new that you desire, something you want to achieve, and envision your future goal as if you've already achieved it. Do a mental rehearsal of the event, as much color with as much details as you can picture it. Like if it's a new car, what color is it, the scent of the car, going to prom, what dress you want to wear, who you want to go with, whatever it may be. Just be as detailed as possible. And the last thing that I want you to do is when you open your eyes, you will say to yourself, I now allow myself to have whatever the goal was that you were describing and thinking about. So fill in the blank with whatever it is. And then say to yourself, so be it, it is done.
So be it. It is done.
This is the fastest way to visualize and bring to you what you desire and what you need
Mm-hmm.
and what you're looking for. It's beyond
Yep.
visualization, as I said, because you're bringing in a feeling towards that goal, and the energy feeds the frequency and universe and brings that energy level up, and start attracting what you're looking for. So that's
Mm-hmm.
visionaring. And the next one is exercise. The E in savers is exercise. And exercise, as you know, has a tons of benefits. I mean, we're talking about alertness, increasing focus, and the ability to think and be creative throughout the day. So it's not just a
Mm-hmm.
physical thing, it's also a mental thing because not only are you losing weight, but you're also releasing a lot of serotonin. So for the hit savers in the morning, 60 minutes of jumping jacks. I mean, 60 seconds. 60 seconds of jumping jacks
Mhm.
or 60 seconds of push-ups to get the
Yep.
heart rate up. And once you get the heart rate up, you it's a lot easier. Your body's more awake naturally.
Yep.
And for the second, so the other one is read. And I urge you to read something positive. If you're not reading, listen to something positive, be it a podcast, this podcast. Listen to something that
Mhm.
can stimulate your brain to actually help develop your brain. You got to read if you want to change. If you want your surroundings to change, you got to change. And that starts with self-development, as we talked about, right? Self growth and self-love. It starts with you, but how else do you learn? By reading, by consuming content. So this is the morning hack. Spend 1 minute, but you should do 20 to 30 minutes a day of reading something stimulating. But do
Mhm.
1 minute of it, and that will get you on the right path. And if you
Mhm.
read 30 minutes a day, you will have read 2,100 books by the end. Is it 2,100 books? I think Zig Ziglar said that 2,100 books by the end of the year. Check my numbers.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so the last one is shower. Take a shower, and I say make it a cold shower. And so people don't like cold showers, so make the last 60 seconds of your shower a cold one. Why?
Mhm.
Because it not only wakes you up, but it helps with depression, it helps with anxiety. And has gone back to the ancient days. People used to sit in ice buckets, like people
Mhm.
used to sit in ice buckets to get the benefits that come with rinsing the body with pure cold showers. There's a lot
Mhm.
of benefits to it. And
Yep.
so it lowers your stress level, it relieves depression, it promotes emotional resiliency,
Mhm.
strengthens your immune system, increases endorphins, increased
Yep.
alertness. I mean, muscle soreness, it decreases all that if you're working at a lot of different benefits to it. So
Mhm.
my question to you and the audience is, how would you feel if that's the 9 minute you started your day with? How much would that quality of your day and your life change?
Ooh, I gotta try that cold shower part. I, it'll be uncomfortable, but I know it's for the best.
60 seconds. It's not the whole shower, just the last 60 seconds of it.
Yep.
So that's the Hit Savers morning hack. There's an application coming out, and it's on the way. I'm looking at the next few weeks, and it will be on my website, and everyone can get it because it will give you daily actionable morning habits that you can do. So for
Mhm.
all the ones that I listed, I will every day change them up and give you a new one to follow to help keep you on track, so that it's easier to just do it. It's 9 minutes of the day.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah. So I had a couple other things I wanted to mention. So one of the things that I was reminded of was when it came to, like, say you're like driving in your car and some other driver makes you upset. I was thinking of, instead of getting mad, I was thinking of a way that you can actually get these people to have more kindness to you. And I was reminded of the Ben Franklin effect,
Mm-hmm.
which has actually been proven to be true. Which Franklin's quote where he said, "He that has one kindness will be more ready to do you another than he whom you yourself have obliged." So, and it comes from, at one point Ben Franklin and another guy were having a feud, and so Ben Franklin just had the idea to have this other guy. He wrote him a letter and he said, um, in your library you have this rare book that I would really like to read. Would you be willing to loan it to me? And so the guy said yes, and he gave it to him, and all of a sudden the two became friends. So do you have
Yeah.
any thoughts on that?
That I like that quote. I actually have heard it before. It's being kind to those who had adversity, who thinks
Mm-hmm.
differently or is angry towards you, because you don't know why people are angry. You don't know what their story is. It kind of
Mm-hmm.
brings you down to earth and think like, before you lash out on somebody, just take a second. They could have had, some issues, family issues. Something terrible could have happened, and you would happen to be right there in their face, and then they just, ah, got
Mm-hmm.
angry. And so it's
Yeah.
part of building compassion, because if you start meditating, you are able to compose yourself like that, where
Mm-hmm.
you say, you know what, this person's not happy with me, but it won't make the matters any better if I act the same way they're acting. And so that's where that loving and kindness kicks in. I love that you
Mm-hmm.
brought that up, because it ties it all together. It brings it all back around. Loving kindness
Mm-hmm.
towards other people, because you don't know what their story is. You don't know what pain they're dealing with. And we
Mm-hmm.
live we live in a broken world, a lot of pain out there. There's a lot of hurting people, and if you can realize that, then you become valuable, because people want to be around you, because you're positive, you want to help people, because the fastest way to get happy is to add value to other people's lives. Flat out. Chris, no other way, nothing else about it. If you want to make $1 million, help 1 million people.
Mm-hmm. What was that?
Hmm?
What was
It's
the last? I
the
didn't
last
catch
piece.
something.
The last piece I said, if you the best way to be happy is to add value to other people's lives. So
Yes.
if you wanna make $1 million, you need to help 1 million people.
Mm-hmm.
Earl Earl
Yeah.
Night Earl Nightingale said that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And another thing I wanted to say was one thing that I've really learned from meditation is, and this especially applies to angry thoughts, is that it shows that when it comes to a negative thought, it's something that you don't really control. It's something that just kind of arises in consciousness, and so meditation allows you to kind of just sit back and just observe these thoughts as they arrive in consciousness, and you're able to just see that and see how it comes in naturally and then just kind of dissipates on its own.
Yeah, yeah. Well, good observation, because that's the hardest part with people who meditate, because they think they have to stop the thoughts from coming. They
That's
think
not true.
that it's not true, because it's a natural to stop thinking. But the goal
Mm-hmm.
is to control what you think about, and also the frequency of those thoughts, right? And what you mentioned here is with meditation is to observe the thoughts. Is to become aware of those thoughts, and then let them pass by, just like traffic. You notice there's heavy traffic. There's a lot of thoughts right now. You wake up one morning and there's a lot of traffic in your head, a lot of thoughts flying by. You observe the
Mm-hmm.
thoughts, and then bring the attention back to your breathing. Bring the attention back to be centered again. Bring the attention
Yeah.
to your body and feeling some type of sensation. And that's meditation. It's just monitoring your breathing.
Mm-hmm.
it, it's really
Oh yeah.
simple, and you got it, which is fantastic. A lot of people struggle with meditation because they're like, I can't shut my brain down, there's too many thoughts, it's anxious, there's a lot going on, I'm worried all the time. And that's okay. Just take 5 deep breaths, and feel your breath rising and collapsing, rising and collapsing,
Mm-hmm.
rising and collapsing. And guess what? You do that 5 days a week, you get better at it. There'll be less thoughts, and then if there are thoughts, you let it happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All you do is you focus on the breath, and if if a sound or something distracts you or a sudden thought, you just observe the thought. Uh, th- just observe it in your consciousness, and then as it disappears, then you just refocus yourself back on the breath.
That's it. I couldn't have said it any better, Chris. That's precisely what meditation is. And it
Yes.
sounds like you have been doing it. You're pretty good at it.
Yeah. So I use the Waking Up app for meditation. Have you heard of this one or?
I have not. I use Oak. I use Oak
Oh,
and Headspace. Yeah, there's one called Oak,
okay.
and
I've tried Headspace.
it's free. I did try Headspace. There was a lot of talking,
Mm-hmm.
unnecessary talking that I didn't like about it, so I stopped using
Yeah.
it.
I really like the Waking Up course with Sam Harris, and he's got a great voice for meditation and very interesting. Yeah, it allows you to observe your own consciousness.
Yeah, I've actually now that you said Tim Ferriss, I've heard of
Well, Sam Harris.
Sam Harris. No, not Tim Ferriss. Then okay, no, I have not heard it. That would be something worth looking into, because I meditate every day. Believe it or
Hmm.
not, I didn't used to, but if I don't do it, I don't leave the house. It's only 10 minutes. You can do it for 10 minutes. You can do it for 20 minutes, but I only do it for 10. You don't hour to be zen. You don't need a whole day to make it happen. Just 5 to 10 minutes is all it takes.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. And so another thing that I've learned about you is that you're an athlete. You were in a was it a half Ironman competition?
I did,
Yeah.
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 That
So
that
you
was
want to talk
insane.
about
That
that?
that absolutely, that was insane. That took me 8 hours to do. And you know something? I had my own ups and downs with that journey, because it's about the journey, not
Hmm.
the end results. But although I was very glad to complete it, but before I completed that half Ironman, I didn't know how to
Hmm.
swim. I didn't I did not know how to swim, so I had to go learn how to swim so I can compete. And
Hmm.
it took me 3.5 months to learn how to swim. So I didn't go into to be the fastest swimmer, clearly. I just didn't want to drown. So when I started training, learning how to swim, because I'm older, I'm late 20s, right? And
Hmm.
I had to go to the
Yeah.
YMCA and learn how to swim with the kids. How
Hmm.
embarrassing. That was my humble beginning. I had to go learn with the kids, and I swam with them for about 4 weeks. And I was like, okay, I got my doggy paddle down pack. I think I'm ready to swim with the sharks. So
Hmm.
I went to joined a 5 a.m. Adult class, and these people were training for the same race I was learning how to swim for. And so so the instructor came in and said, Lunide, you are too slow for the class. You're slowing everyone down. You need to take lessons with the other kids. I was like,
Hmm.
ouch, that hurts a lot. Because I have a race in 2 months that I need to like be efficient and be great at. These people were swimming like they were Michael Phelps, like they were fish
Hmm.
underwater. And here I am just like barely stroking and making it staying above water because I'm like winded and out of breath. So I was
Hmm.
so determined to learning how to swim, and that's my personality. So I was like, I'll show him. I'm gonna come back tomorrow and I'm gonna be better, and I'm gonna keep coming until I get better. Well, that didn't work out very well, because the next time I showed up, he called the director, and the director had to escort me out of the water. That's how bad he thought I was, and was unable to swim with the adults. So that was a
Hmm.
challenge for me that I had to overcome, because I had a goal in mind. I had written my goal. I had vision how I was going to complete this. And the swim for the half Ironman is a mile and point three. It's 1.3 miles.
Hmm.
And the biking is 56 miles. And then the running is half marathon. So 13.1 miles.
Yeah.
So the day the day of the race, that was my biggest focus, was like swim, because I had an hour to swim a mile and then point three. if i
Hmm.
swim if I swam longer than that, I was disqualified from the rest of the race.
Hmm.
So I know, talking about challenging. I So that morning, I put on my wetsuit. Frigid cold, water is cold, the sun is not out yet, it is 5 a.m. And I get in the water. I finished the swim part in 55 minutes.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
just made it. I just made it under the hour qualification mark, and I was able to
Hmm.
complete the rest of the race. It was a huge accomplishment for me. But my marathon running and triathlon was something I did to to prove to myself, like, I can do this. I'm capable. I believe in myself. I have confidence in myself. And when I push myself like that, and when you and everyone push themselves like to the limit, it bleeds into the other areas of your life. You know, you give yourself a challenge and you actually see it through. You become more confident, and you're able to achieve different things in life. It's really fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my story.
Yeah. Yeah, if you just follow your steps, you'll be able to do great things like that.
Mm-hmm. And plan,
Is it,
right? Have a plan in place. Strategize. There's a great quote out here: if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Have you heard that?
is it,
Yeah.
so just to recap your steps, it's silence, affirmations,
It's
visualization, exercise.
read
What
and
was that?
shower.
Reading and shower.
Read and shower. But before that, there's a hit, right? Hit savers. HIT. Remember that? Hydrate. I am
Hydrate. Yeah.
thankful. So the I'm thankful
That's
journal.
the
And then
that's the
time's up.
pre-routine.
Time's up. Get your butt out of bed. Make your bed.
Yeah.
And then get into your savers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I had one more about, and it was this idea of productive narcissistic leadership. So, what is it that you mean by
Yeah.
that?
Oh, so productive narcissism, and I have another 8 o'clock. I have an 8 o'clock meeting, so we gotta wrap it up real quick. But
Okay.
narcissistic leaders, there's productive narcissistic leaders, and there's negative, unproductive narcissistic leaders. That's what my dissertation was on, and it
Yeah.
looks at let's look at Donald Trump. Let's look at Hitler. Let's look at all these great leaders, but their motives were so twisted, right?
Yeah.
They they're considered narcissistic. That the grandiose, they flamboyant, grand thinking. But these people also are charismatic because they're able to get followers. They're able
Mm.
to get people
Yeah.
to vote for them. These are
Mm-hmm.
productive narcissists. Hitler got a whole country to follow him and follow his rules and did what he did. And that you deserve some recognition.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can be a productive narcissism or you can be an unproductive narcissism, because we all have a level of narcissistic in us, because it's our
Mm-hmm.
ability to believe in ourselves. It's our
Yeah.
ability to be confident. It's our ability to think that I can run a half Ironman and complete it in time. That's narcissism. That's that tenacity. That's that ambition that we all possess, and we need to tap into it. Like, it's okay to be a productive narcissist, because if you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. Is essentially what I think. What the difference is between the unproductive and productive.
Mm-hmm.
Did I clear it up for
Yeah.
you?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah. So one thing that makes these people successful at what they do is just because they're very confident in themselves. They know exactly about their own strengths and weaknesses, and they're able to use that to further whatever their cause may be.
Yeah, and then hire people with their what they lack to make to complement their weakness. It's smart thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, Chris, this is my
Uh,
time. I have
yeah.
another meeting I gotta run to.
It's been great having you. Thank you for coming on the show. So where can people find you for if they want to learn more?
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely. So wherever you're listening to this podcast right now, check out my podcast. It's called The Best Morning Routine Ever. And I outline the hit savers. And also I talk to entrepreneurs on what makes them successful. So it's a really fun show. Check it
Mhm.
out. The Best Morning Routine Ever. And also my website, it's lunidelouis.com. So it's LUNIDE LOUIS.com, where you'll
Mhm.
find information when the app is going to launch. Also, my ebook, which you can get for
There you go.
free. On there, it talks about
You
hydration,
got an app coming
and
out?
every I do have an app coming out. Yeah, it's coming out in a few weeks.
All right. Is there guided meditation in it, or what's
Yeah,
the app?
it's it's the hit savers. Everything I just went over with you for the hit savers is on that app.
Okay, I'm excited. All right. So, best morning routine ever podcast and LunideLouis.com.
Yes.
All right. And then what's your Twitter?
My Twitter is best morning. It's
Best
best
morning.
morning. It's on the, yeah. So Twitter is best at best morning. Um, face Instagram is the same. Best morning routine is the name
Okay.
for Instagram.
Okay. Well, that's been the show for today, guys. It's Dr. Um, yeah. So, thank you for coming on the show.
It's my pleasure, Chris. It's been fun.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Let me know when you publish it. Send me an email. Send me a
I
link so I
will.
can put it on my
I'll
podcast.
send you
Let people
links
know
to.
about it.
Yeah, I'll send
Okay.
you links to where it's available.
Sounds good.